Hello, everybody. Well, as you probably know, the House Judiciary Committee has just voted along partisan lines to have a criminal contempt of Congress referral against the White House legal counsel and the White House chief of staff. In our view, this is pathetic. What's interesting is that there have been all these hearings on the Attorney General, and yet nobody's really laid a glove on him. What you do is you have complaints, but there is yet to be any specific allegation. Again, look at all the pages here. Look at all the hearings. It is as if they keep throwing mud against the wall, hoping something's going to stick. Frankly, if you have something solid and you think you do it, invite the people up, ask the questions. Everybody's been made available. You have not been denied a shred of information. I've yet to hear anybody say any piece of information that they've been denied. Instead, this looks like an attempt to provoke something that falls more into the area of political theater.
If there's something in question, granted it might have been 400 investigations, but if there was something in question, isn't that the people's business?
Well, that's a very good question. But what if there isn't anything in question? And somebody's going on it. April, at this point, we have hundreds of hearings that have produced bupkis.
You said you've made everybody available and everything available when it comes to the intelligence, but you haven't made everybody available. You've made them available if they go without the oath, if they go without the transcript, and if they go in private. But you haven't even made the documents available. You've only made the documents available that aren't the documents that they want. You won't make the documents available that they do want.
Because the documents they do want violate executive privilege. You're absolutely right. Those that violate the privilege, we're not going to share with them. It has had plenty of opportunities to review documents, and as you know, there have been a number of cases where people were called up to the Hill and people say, wow, this is going to be the big one. And it turns out nothing. There is no fact that they would not have access to, and furthermore, there is no situation under which somebody testifying before members of Congress would not be compelled to tell the truth. If there was no transcript, they could ask the same question 48 times. They could tell them to slow down and write it on the wall in crayon if they so decided. But the fact is that you would have the opportunity to get a full hearing of what everybody said. You could vet it. You could cross-reference it against other statements. You could do a completely full investigation. And what's being deprived is a little bit of political theater. What we've been trying to do is to create a little air of dignity in this town.
The transcript seems to be the one area in which you could all agree. It seems to be one thing that is frankly just silly. Everybody knows that the lack of a transcript is something.
You know what's silly, Victoria, is after we have made all these offers, Congress doesn't step forward with anything. That's silly.
You said the Democrats seem to want confrontation.
Seem?
They, well, I'm paraphrasing, obviously. They say the same thing about the White House, of course.
Well, but wait a minute. I cannot let them get away with that. We've talked about a whole series of things where we have reached out, and we have had a series of escalating proffers in terms of making people and information available. You simply cannot say that is stubbornness on the part of the White House when we have made available all this documents, when we've made the people available, and the Congress itself has said, nope, we're just going to push this toward a confrontation. I think that the attitudes and approaches are significantly different. Proceed. But I'll tell you what has happened is that there's been no demonstration that they've been willing to take up the offer, to get access to all the facts. We have made it possible for them to proceed down the road to gather information and to try to assess the situation. And they've just basically rebuffed it.
What do you mean when you say that nobody's really laid a glove on Gonzalez? Isn't the president troubled by senators questioning his truthfulness and by Specter saying that he doesn't think he has any credibility?
What's happened on a number of occasions is that people have hauled him up and there have been insinuations, and yet in the end, what is the specific charge? What is the specific charge of malfeasance?
Well, for one thing, his truthfulness has been
questioned. No, but again, the president stands. The president is bothered sometimes by the tone of debate in Washington. He understands it can be bruising. He stands by the Attorney General.